Hello everyone. I know in the schedule it was only 10 sessions, but I am always entitled to give you the surprises. So now there is a surprise session by Dr. Ushma Bhojani, and she is practicing physiotherapy since 10 years, almost amongst very few invasive pelvic floor rehabilitation specialists in India. Have trained more than 1,000 females across Mumbai during prenatal phase, childbirth educator under LAME's program, have done her post graduation diploma in clinical nutrition and dietetics. Her keen interest to provide health and fitness to females in every stage of life. Today's presentation, today's topic is whether kinesiotaping during pregnancy on acupressure points leads to preterm labor. Thank you, Ushma. Join us today for this wonderful historic event. And now over to you.
Dr. Ankit, thanks a lot. Good evening, everybody. And I'm going to talk to you as a surprise talk. Actually, a small study that I done, and I'm practicing in the last 5 years with. Before I come to my study, I would just like to mention a few things about me. So, I'm a fellow pelvic floor rehab specialist. I have done my PhD in diet and nutrition. I'm practicing kinesiotaping since last 5 years, along with dry needling, and I've been practicing in the area of women's health since last years. And Dr. Sujata Khire had helped me to, introduce me to this idea of that. Why don't you do a research on this topic? And that's how I started working on this. So basically, if we start with our today's topic, that what am I going to talk on today is that whether application of kinesiotapes during pregnancy on acupressure points leads to preterm labor or not. Okay, now before I go ahead with my topic, let us just go ahead with a little bit of introduction about why are we talking on this topic first of all. So we all know that common aches and pains during pregnancy are not at all uncommon, right? We all have heard that the patients coming in clinic either at first, second, third trimester with multiple common discomforts that most of the time are not possible to manage with medication or any other ways because there's a restriction of pregnancy, and that's the time physiotherapy really helps them the most. There was a small multi-center study that was conducted in Spain, which said that low back pain was as common as 71.3% in pregnant females during their pregnancy term. Pelvic girdle pain was almost 64.7% common, including lumbopelvic pain, which was a mix of both of them, that was around 46.2%. So we do get it that there are more than 50% females who are going to suffer with any kind of low back pain or a girdle pain, which are really difficult to treat during pregnancy because the most common restraint that we have is that we cannot use much of electrotherapy, or we cannot even ask them to go in certain exercise positions. Sometimes they even end up coming with a lot of disabling pain where the patient is not even able to move, turn around or walk, and the female is around 32 weeks pregnant, 28 weeks pregnant, and that is the time when all you want is that the patient becomes functional. And kinesiotaping has always come like magic to me. So whenever I have used it on my patient, then my patient have just been, they've come on lying on a stretcher and then gone back walking. And so kinesiotaping usually tends to be an adjunct to my treatment whenever I try to treat my patients who are pregnant. And I realize that when we talk about precautions about using it, we do mention that there is a precaution regarding using kinesiotapes in particular areas during pregnancy. Now, which are these areas? So these are the most common areas which we use as an acupuncture or an acupressure points, and there has been multiple small but double-blind studies or small studies that says that acupuncture points and acupressure points, when given to a patient who is full-term pregnant, Does that help in inducing labor or not? So I have added in my references all that studies, but the truth about it is that there is no great evidence supporting it that when you actually give that acupressure or acupuncture needling during that full term time, does that lead to induction of labor? Though there is not great evidence supporting to it, but still on our aspect, on for our precaution area, that if we are taping a patient on that same areas, does that lead to preterm labor or not, was the small concern that I always had behind my mind, which was also mentioned in our books. So I thought, why not just do a small study on it and figure out that, is there any risk really associated to it or not? I feel there is one more reason why I would really want to associate risk factor with regards to acupressure, acupuncture points, and taping is that when they do acupuncture and acupressure at a full term to a pregnant lady, it's usually a 20 minute 3-time cycle in a day. But when we apply a kinesio tape on the same points, we end up applying it for more than 24 hours to 48 hours, depending upon what do we want as an outcome from the taping that we have done on the patient. So I felt that that's a continuous stimulation that's given on the same point, and does that end up with any kind of a preterm outcome to that pregnancy? Then we'll just try to work it out and let's see what happens. So I did this. There was even another few areas. So not only low back pain or lumbopelvic pain or girdle pain, there are even pains like carpal tunnel syndromes, de Quervain's pain, pedal edema. Now these three are also quite common. Particularly pedal edema is seen almost as less as 8.5% in first pregnancy, which moves up as high as more than 57.1% patients in their second or third pregnancies. So including even, I have seen most of the manuals saying, that's a very small part, that the carpal tunnel pain and de Quervain's pain. But lately, the research also says that there are more than 23% cases which comes up with a carpal tunnel pain during pregnancy, and around 17.5 are bilateral cases. Particularly the ones who end up in a clinic at first trimesters are the ones who really end up with a debilitating phase by the time they reach to the third trimesters with complaints like CTS or de Quervain's or edema. So in these cases also, there are certain acupuncture points which are used to induce labor, and on the same points we end up doing taping. So I have considered this particular conditions along with the acupuncture points and the taping done, and then the research outcome of the same. So what was the objective of my today's study? The objective of my today's study was that to determine that whether the application of the kinesio tapes at either of these points does lead to any kind of preterm labor outcome or not, right? Now, before we move ahead to the study, let us just understand a little bit background about acupuncture pressure points. Acupuncture really doesn't have much evidence supporting for induction of labor. But yes, acupuncture again has a very small evidence to this. What they do in that, so they have certain points in the body which they signify correlating to their organs. That's why the names are also given according to the organ that it particularly stimulates. So they work on meridian lines, they work on stimulating particular points, which ends up stimulating that particular organ, which has a particular outcome for the same. How do they stimulate it? Acupuncture, it is stimulated with needles. With regards to acupressure, they use either 2 fingers or they use thumb, and they do a deep tissue massage in that same area. That whole cycle is continued for around 15 to 20 minutes. Again, that cycle can be done anywhere between 2 to 4 times a day. As I mentioned earlier, there is very little evidence supporting that it does have any favorable outcome of induction of labor post 40 weeks. Okay, which are the common areas of acupressure or acupuncture points? So in order to understand that, I have a little, I have made a small PowerPoint so that, it's easier for you all to correlate with that, which are that exact areas, so that whenever you are taping, you know that you are there on that area and it's easy to relate to it. So the first point that we are going to talk on is spleen 6. Now, spleen 6 or SP6 is the common area which is considered as an intersection to the 3 main organs, that there are 3 main organ meridian lines. So which are that organs? That's spleen, kidney, and liver. Now, where is this point located? So if you go to the medial malleolus of your ankle, and if you place 4 fingers above the 4 digits above it, that's the top point over there is the area which is stimulated in order to induce labor, particularly post 40 weeks of the term. The second common labor acupuncture point is bladder 60 or BL60. Again, this is named behind an Asian mountain range called as Kunlun, and this is found in the posterior aspect of the lateral malleolus. So again, this is quite. There has been certain evidences that shows that it does help in easing the labor pain, but induction, again, there is not much evidence supporting to it. Then there is, okay, now while we are doing this, let us just go again to spleen 6 and let us just try to recap that what all tapes can we apply in this area. So in this area, most commonly that I used to come across was for spleen 6, that is medial malleolus and just 4 digits above that. This was the area where I used to have difficulty when I used to tape for pedal edema. So this is the time either we tape either from the calf or maybe towards the ankle area, going all the way till the toe. So this is the area which gets covered when we do kinesio taping for pedal edema. Again, same for bladder 60. Pedal edema is the time when we do taping and the same area does get included. Then there is bladder 32. Bladder 32 is the area which is found on the posterior of your back at the lowermost margin. So basically, if you turn around and if you just move your hand at the lower back, just above the buttocks, the area where you find the dimple chin is the area where you actually stimulate for your bladder. And again, this area is commonly taped when we end up taping for low back pains, when we end up taping for pelvic girdle corrections, or maybe for muscle inhibition or facilitation when we do for lower back corrections. This is the time when this area does get covered most of the time. And initially when I used to tape, that was the first thing that used to come to my mind when I used to tape in this particular area, that okay, is it safe or not? The next area is bladder 67. Bladder 67 is again just above the little toenail. So this point again does get included when we tape for pedal edema. Again, with regards to ankle, this is a very, there are very little cases to it, but even during pregnancy, particularly post third trimester, it's very commonly seen that females end up with ankle sprains thanks to the relaxin hormones working in their body. So at that time, if you're using it to, maybe stabilize the joint or maybe reduce the swelling, again, all the three areas, spleen 6, bladder 67 and bladder 80, this or bladder 60, all of this are the points which do get included when we try to tape for this condition as well. Next one is large intestine 4. Now, large intestine 4 is again large intestine 4 and the last one, which is pericardium 8. Now, these two have very, very little evidence to even help in induction of any kind of labor at full term. But still, these are the last two acupressure points commonly used by acupuncturists. So, where is this point? This point is just above the web space of your thumb and your index finger. Just the highest point of your web space is the area where you use stimulating to probably, ease out the bowel movement. Again, easing out the bowel movement is also used by a lot of obstetricians to help trigger labor. So probably that could not be a direct implication to induce labor, but an indirect implication to induction of labor. Then this is one point which is, yes, used at times. And the last one is pericardium 8. Now, pericardium 8, it's very easy to figure out. So what normally I do is I do this. And then the middle point between the second and the third metacarpal is the point where you find your pericardium 8. Now, pericardium 8 is again having the least any evidence to support that it does help in any kind of induction of labor. Okay, so these are the 6 common points that are used by acupuncturists in order to help or support induction of labor on full term. We do end up coming across them quite a lot throughout the term of pregnancy. So what I did for my research was that I took a small group, a random group of 30 pregnant females, aged between 25 to 38 years. Out of 30 pregnant females, one of them was carrying a twin pregnancy. Rest all of them were absolutely normal. There were some who were induced with IVF and all, but it was a random group, so I did not do any specific count of how history they had. What did I tape them for? So I taped them for most commonly was the low back pain. So out of 50, there were 15 patients that ended up with low back. So if you look at this pie chart, you will come to know. Again, For carpal tunnel pains and dequervins, there were 4 patients who had carpal tunnel pain bilateral, which I had taped. Then there was 2 patients who had dequervins pain, and there were 2 patients with pelvic pedal edema and pelvic girdle pain. There were 7 patients that I taped throughout this group. Now, if you go to see, I have just shared a simple picture of each and every condition that I could find out. So if you look at this picture, this was the case of low back pain. Patient was 18 weeks pregnant. She did come to me with a little bit of radicular pain. She already had a history pre-pregnancy also of low back pain and a radicular pain. And what I did for her was space creation technique. And if you see in this technique, as we talked earlier in this points, our BL32 is the acupuncture point that gets included when you do a space creation technique to help a low back pain patient. If you go to the next picture, this was the one in which my patient was 32 weeks pregnant and she had pedal edema. Now, with regards to pedal edema, in pregnancy, there are very, very rare chances, that you end up seeing a localized pedal edema. That is the reason that if you see, I have seen the least patients tape for pedal edema compared to even CTS. Because most of the time, if the patient who is pregnant and comes up with pedal edema, it's mostly systemic, and you see that they have calf, thigh, sometimes even vulvar swelling. And these are the patients, again, who commonly walk in with a carpal tunnel syndrome as well, because the body has, in general, habit of water retention. And because of gravity, we just get to see is the pedal edema. So I have done it, but there are very few cases in which I have done this kind of taping. Again, in this taping, if you go to see, we are crossing 3 main points of acupuncture. That is SP6, that is spleen 6, bladder 60, and bladder 67. Again, if you come to the next case, now this was the case of pelvic girdle pain. My patient was 33 weeks pregnant at this time. Now this point, as I said, it crosses bladder 32. So pelvic girdle and low back pain is the one where bladder 32 gets always included whenever we try to do any kind of correction. The last photo is of a carpal tunnel pain where I had done space creation technique. Patient was 35 weeks pregnant and it was crossing the pericardium one, the middle point between the second and third metacarpal. Now let us just see in detail about the numbers, how things work out. So taping, as I said, I had done 50% of cases for low back pain, 23% were for the pelvic girdle pain, 20% included CTS and dequervins, and 7% for pedal edema. With regards to which trimesters have I done taping, so that it's not like that it's safe in some trimesters and it's not safe in other trimesters. So I have taped maximum in third trimester, that is 47%. Second trimester was around 33% and first trimester was around 20%. So out of 30 females, if we go to see, 6 patients that I taped were in their first trimester, 10 of them were in their second trimester, and 14 of them were in their third trimester. Now, I feel one more reason of doing for a study to happen like this was that, again, there are very few patients who will walk in a clinic with any kind of musculoskeletal discomfort during pregnancy in first trimester. That is one of the reasons, again, we had very few patients to tape at that point for first trimester. Most commonly, we get to see a second, and I think the worst one is the third trimester, thanks to the relaxant action that works on the body. That's the time when the pelvic girdle pain and low back pain really kicks in. What were the results after doing all of this? So if we go to see after, as I said, that I did do taping in first, second, third trimester for all kinds of pregnancies, the result was that 63% females, that is out of 30 females, there were 14 females who ended up delivering in their 40th week. They did not deliver before that. There were 12 patients who delivered in their 39th week. That is almost 27% of the patients who delivered in their 39th week. And there were only 4 patients who delivered in their 38th week of their gestation, which is 10% of the total. Out of which also I can say whatever I remember from the data is that even this 38th week was late 38th week. So almost a day or two left to start with 39th week is the time when all of these patients have delivered, including the twin pregnancy. So if you go to see on the top, I have mentioned it that my patients out of 30, there were 28 patients who were primies. And there were 2 patients who were in their second pregnancy, And out of primees, there was one patient who was carrying a twin. So even the twin pregnancy patient had delivered in 39th week of her pregnancy. With this, it's quite clearly evident that none of them had any kind of preterm labor. None of the patients or none of their babies needed any kind of external intensive care or external support once they were born, because they all had completed their complete term irrespective of taping or not taping. Conclusion: taping during pregnancy, I feel, has no direct or indirect effect on the labor outcome, which is quite evident from the observation. These findings are pretty much reassuring, again, for a patient, particularly for the therapist to, to reassure the risk-benefit ratio that, okay, shall I or shall I not? I think it goes quite a lot in favor of the therapist to go ahead with the treatment and not worry about any kind of adverse during pregnancy with taping. I have attached a few references regarding from what I had studied about acupuncture and their double-blind studies, their studies, that that they really don't have much implication itself. So if you use acupuncture particularly to induce itself, it does not have very great evidence supporting it. So applying a tape on it itself remotely has any chances to create any kind of preterm labor. And this was it. With this, I would like to complete my presentation for the day. But before I finish, I would like to thank Dr. Sujata Khire, as she's the one who had, motivated me to do this study, and Dr. Mukesh Gupta, because he is the gynecologist whose patients I had been treating during the time of study, and he had been the one who had blind faith on me. I know you will not do any harm to your patients. So keeping that faith with me, I have treated his patients. I would like to thank both of them to help me out with the studies. And yes, if you all have any questions, any queries regarding this, feel free to contact to me in my below given details. And I think we are good to take questions if you all have any questions regarding the study.
Yes, Dr. Ushma, though sometimes your voice were breaking, maybe due to the signal issue at your end. But anyways, people are. This session was quite informative and quite good. And Dr. Pooja has asked. She is one of the today's queen, because in every session she has asked the. So I really like the determination of learning this thing. So she has asked one question: it's only restricted to back pain or neurological pain?
Either of the pains are fine. So the case that I have shared with over here has neurological symptoms as well. So that particular point you use to treat any condition, either neurological or musculoskeletal or a mix of both, it has no implication on doing a preterm labor for the patient.
Okay.
And thank you, Dr. Pooja, for being so active throughout the session.
Yeah, yes, and guys, through this, I would like to tell you there is some problem with the YouTube. Though, if you don't find the video, do not worry. I am going to post it on the Facebook page. And also, if the video is not available on YouTube, then again I will manually post it, this video, and then another, just give me 1 or 2 hours of time, then everything will be available and placed, and then you can watch the videos and ask your question in the comment section, so that I will post to each and every instructor, so that they can see the questions and they can answer you individually. And so one more question, Professor Balaji has come up with the question: taping and acupuncture are combined. In this, did you combine the taping and acupuncture?
No, I did not combine acupuncture and taping. So I'm not trained to do acupuncture, so we don't practice it at all. What I have done is that I just tried to study a little bit on acupuncture points to really know that am I stimulating it at any point by doing KT taping or not. As I mentioned in the starting of the session, that when they really do, when the acupuncturists end up doing acupuncture for induction of the labor, they just do a massage or they do needling for around 20-minute cycle. That's just done 3 times a day or 4 times a day. But when we tape that patient on the same particular point, that tape stays over there, it does its effects for another 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours. So does that give any impact to the labor outcome or not, was the study. So I have not done any kind of acupuncture. Only taping has been done by me on the patient.
Okay, with this we end this session, and I really thank you, Dr. Ushma, to come up, and it's a really enlightening session, and it's really a good topic, and it's new in the market. So keep doing this good job, and we will be surely getting your knowledge in later aspects of another conferences or something like that. Okay, thank you so much for being
Now,
this part of this conference.
Thank to Ankit particularly for arranging this conference so beautifully. I think this is the first conference which is arranged on a global level, and he's doing this since I think morning before even the sunrise. And you're doing a great job, and thanks a lot. Thanks to you. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to present our topics. Thank you.